Welcome to the Superstar Communicator podcast. My name is Susan Heaton-Wright, a leading impact, speaking and communications expert. My aim is to show you how to make an impact so you will be heard, listened to and respected for career success. Listen weekly to the podcast and go to our website, superstarcommunicator.com. Hi there, everybody. This is Susan Heaton-Wright from Superstar Communicator. You know how I am serving you, the listeners, and there is no exception today because I'm absolutely delighted to have on the other end of the internet the wonderful Caterina Rando. She's a best-selling author, a podcaster and women's business mentor who passionately serves women on a mission. She shows women how to be loud and proud about the value they bring in order to serve more people and make their businesses thrive. Her books include Learn to Think Differently, released in over 13 countries and several languages, and A Woman's Guide to Starting a Giving Circle, and her latest book, The ABCs of Public Speaking, which quickly hit #1 in 4 Amazon bestseller categories. Caterina is also the founder of the Thriving Women in Business Center in San Francisco. Wow. So welcome.
Thank you, Susan. I'm so happy to be with you.
Do you know, the honor is all mine, and I can't wait to hear more about what you do. So let the audience know, after that introduction, what you actually do, how you're helping people.
Well, what I want is for every woman on the planet to know that she matters, that she has massive value to bring, and that's everyone that has a business. And not only do I want them to have more certainty about their massive value, I want them to be well compensated for their massive value.
Very good point.
Absolutely, because you know, Susan, most of us start businesses, I'm sure you, as we were discussing earlier, because we want to help people, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is that if we can't sell, if we can't get clients, then we can't serve anybody. So I want to support them in doing it in a way that works for them, that feels authentic.
And what made you come to that? What was the motivation for starting the business?
Okay, well, my first business was I had a cafe.
Ooh.
Beautiful neighborhood cafe, tables outside, made a great cappuccino. And I loved all the people coming in every day. Loved it. But I felt like, you know, making sandwiches, wearing tomato sauce, that was not my future, right? And then one day a lady thanked me for some business advice. And I thought, wow, I just felt a pang of bliss in my heart. I thought, that's what I'm going to do with my life. That's how I got started. But you know, when you have a cafe, you want some clients, all you got to do is open the door, right? Turn on the lights. But it's not the same for most of our service businesses.
You're absolutely right. I don't know if you found in where you are in the USA, there's a lot of focus about keeping retail going. But there are little businesses like yours and mine who can easily be forgotten.
Right. And so it's our job to make sure that not only nobody forgets about us, but they see the massive value that we have to bring. And that's why I embrace speaking, I embrace doing workshops, doing Zoom events, so that you always have something to invite people to, and it's an easy yes.
That's a really, really good idea, because people are focusing on creating an online course, an e-course, or writing a book. But these immediate things that you're suggesting are not far easier. They're a far better way for people to get to know who you are quickly.
Right. They're more Insta. I've done the e-course. I have the book. Yes, all those things are good. But Susan, those are what we would call more money later, right? I'm interested in some now money now for all of our listeners as well. Now money now, more money later. So when we write the book, we do the e-course, we focus many weeks and months on building our list. That's all more money later. The shortest distance between where someone is and their next client or a full client base is speaking, networking, and referrals. But the thing is, with referrals and networking, we still need to build influence.
Yes.
And that's where the speaking comes in.
Now, you're talking about public speaking. I don't know about you, but certainly in the United Kingdom, there's no public speaking going on unless you're in the park on your own.
Okay, but this is where, yes, well, Susan, believe me, when we had the pandemic hit, my ladies all had places to speak on their calendar. I had retreats. I was going to take 20 ladies to Alaska for a cruise. I'm still crying about it that we didn't get to go. Okay. So yeah, everything's off the calendar except Zoom. And this is what I want everybody to recognize. You don't need to be live and in person. In fact, Zoom is even better in many instances because nobody has to leave their house to come and be with you. So let's embrace Zoom to gain some Insta clients.
You're absolutely right. Since I think we went into lockdown slightly later than you, but as you said, everything disappeared. But I'm now speaking to people all over the world that I physically would not have had the chance to do. It's wonderful.
Right. It's wonderful. And I got to tell you, my friend, just between me and you, I'm not going to stop because it's wonderful to meet people and be able to serve them. I'm on the West Coast. I live in San Francisco. I have a new client in Maryland, which is the opposite part of the East on the top. I'm sure I've never been there. So isn't that great when you get clients from all over? And so Zoom is not going away, and embracing Zoom to gain Insta clients or long-term clients or serve our clients is not going away. And I want to encourage everyone to get on board if they're not already.
So you've written a number of books. Yeah. You're a bit of a star when it comes to that.
Well, I've only written 3. That's not too many in my book, but
it's 3 more than I have.
Well, okay. Well, I did publish books before, and I do have some more books in the hopper. The fun thing, Susan, we're working on right now is we're working on our app. We're going to have an app.
I've already got an app.
You've already got an app? Oh my God, you're so VIP. Well, good. We have to have a conversation about that. That is awesome. And I'm sure, as you know, it was supposed to be released about 6 months ago. It's taken much longer to get the party started, but that's okay. Well, so Susan, let's tell everybody how to do Zoom so that it can work for them, even if they're introverted.
Brilliant. Absolutely. Great idea. So these can be your tips.
Okay, good. Because people say, well, Caterina, that's fine for you. And that's fine for Susan, because you guys like to be out there. But what about me? I'm an introvert. Well, I'm going to give you a very easy method for everybody. Okay.
Just to let everyone know, I'm an introvert.
Yeah. Well, guess what, my friend? I'm an introvert too. Okay? I'm actually in the middle. But the thing is, you develop skills. Public speaking is a skill. Writing is a skill. So we can all do better. We can all learn. And for my introverted friends, what I've said to them is, hey, make a list of 10 frequently asked questions. What are the questions that people ask you? Or make a list of 10 of your super tips. So for example, 10 super tips for staying blissful during the pandemic, if somebody is a happiness coach, or 10 tips for staying healthy, or 10 tips for making your relationship last for a relationship coach. Whatever their business is, make 10 tips. And then you just tell people, hey, everybody, come and be with me via Zoom this time. And we're going to have questions to thrive during the pandemic or whatever it is. And then here's the super tip I want everybody to get. When people are with you, get everybody's voice in the room. Have everyone introduce themselves, because especially for women, they feel safe and more connected when they've heard their own voice. So you do that, and then you say to them, what questions do you have? You start with their questions, you go through your questions. At the end, you make an easy yes invitation, and bing, bing, you're going to get some Insta clients.
Wow, that sounds brilliant.
I think so. It's working because, Susan, when the pandemic started, all my clients are freaking out. Oh my God, what am I going to do? All my speeches are gone. And then I said, hey, let's do this. They've been doing this. Some are doing it every week or every 2 weeks. Sometimes they have a big crowd. Sometimes they have a little crowd, but it's definitely working to grow their businesses.
What a fantastic idea. And do you find that in the US, because you're in semi-lockdown now, or is it regional areas that are in lockdown?
Well, we're not in lockdown, but everything is still closed. It's just starting to open up. We're still practicing social distancing. There's a mask mandate, but there's no gatherings. So you can have, so for example, my center has been dark since March, and in January, we'll have the first event with 8 people.
Amazing, because over here in the United Kingdom at the moment, there are regions that are in lockdown.
Okay.
So I can't go and see my parents because I'm not allowed to, as another household, to go to their house.
Right.
Which is quite hard.
Yes.
So these sorts of things are just not happening. So certainly people are focused a lot more on perhaps building their business or finding a new way to connect with customers.
Right. And and Zoom is great for not only doing what we've discussed, for meeting some new people, but it's also great for serving your clients. And whatever you're doing, convert it to Zoom. If you're a personal trainer, you can do that on Zoom. I've got ladies that are style consultants that are doing it on Zoom. Take the computer to the closet, show me what you've got. Whatever it takes to serve your people via Zoom. And everybody has hopefully embraced the technology by now. You don't have to be perfect at it. You don't have to be, the whiz. You just have to be able to know how to turn it on and off. And even if you're running a group, people will forgive you for not knowing which button to push, and they'll coach you through it, because we really are all in this together in terms of we're all living the pandemic lifestyle right now.
And what about when you've managed to get people to come on a live event? What's the next stage to really get people to sign up for your services?
Okay, so let's give everybody, Susan, a very important guiding principle for the rest of their business related to this. Our ask cannot exceed the amount of influence we've built. That is the guiding principle. Our ask cannot exceed the amount of influence we've built. So if somebody's with you on Zoom for 30 minutes, you don't say to them, hey, you want my super elite $5,000 program, okay? Or you want my year-long, hey, if you enjoyed today, would you like to sign up for a year program? Okay, the ask is too big.
Yeah.
And this is where some people fall down. There's no shortage of coaches telling them this is how to do it. And that's fine if you want to be a pushy salesperson, okay? But I know, Susan, none of your people do. None of my people do. We want to only do what feels good, right? And what feels good is to make an easy yes invitation. When someone comes to my 1 hour thing, as we've been discussing, my Zoom 1 hour workshop on perhaps selling with authenticity, I don't say sign up for my big thing. I don't say come on my big program. I say, hey, would you like to come and be with me for my 3 hour workshop? Okay. Now, why? You say, Caterina, they just came to a workshop. Why you want to give them another workshop? because I want to build more influence so then I can make a bigger ask, because nobody buys from us if we don't have influence. And that's a big mistake people make. They're going for the big sale. Oh, they said they liked it. Okay, now let me give them the big thing. No. Make it easy for them to say yes. And that means have an ask that's not bigger than the amount of influence you've built.
And do you charge for the 3-hour workshop?
Yes.
It's a small charge.
I do charge. But Susan, let me tell you something. Generosity looks good on me, my friend. And you know what? It looks good on you, and generosity looks good on everybody. So let's say, Susan, you and I are having a conversation. Let's say your friend Sheila referred you. Okay. Now I'm not even going to invite you to my 3-hour thing. I'm going to start by inviting you to my 1-hour thing, because again, if you don't know me, that's a big ask for 3 hours. Let's make it easy. But then I'm probably going to say at that 1 hour, I'm going to say, hey, my friends, this is $47. Because you're here with me today, you're invited as my guest. Now, Susan, you might say, well, Caterina, doesn't that mean they're not going to value it? You know what? If they show up, they're going to get so much massive value, and they're going to be even more open because of my generous gesture of inviting them as my guest. If you are looking for big sales, don't nickel and dime your potential clients. Yes, anybody that comes through the website, they're going to have to pay. Yes, but if I've already met you and I think you're a good potential client, I'm not worried about getting another $47 out of you. I'm going to invite you to come as my guest. And by the way, I've tested this. If I have 10 people that paid and 10 people that came as my VIP guest, who's more likely to advance? Do you want me to tell you the answer, Susan?
Go on.
Okay, so the answer is that it's really about the same, with the VIP guests being a little more likely to be a yes to continue.
That's really interesting. And it's quite clear that you have different levels of
Yes.
services, of products.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I start with my 1 hour free thing, as we've discussed. I invite them to a 3-hour thing. Now that's because we're living the virtual world. If we were live and in person, I would invite them to a 6-hour workshop, but 6 hours is a big ask for virtual. So I just invite them to 3, and then I invite them to my 9-week program. And then I invite them to a 6-month program or year-long program.
So the longer they are, the more you charge.
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
And also it depends on what they're getting. Susan, I've got 2 programs that include a cruise if the ladies want a cruise. Now, I know I saw that look on your face, but we're going to start cruising in February, and then we'll do another one in April. And I'm going, and some gals are going with me. But if somebody doesn't want to go, we also have the 3-day workshop at the center, live and in person. And the reason for, and I've been doing cruise programs for a long time, and they're super fun. They build great community. The ladies get to know each other really well, and they are taking tons of precautions. So in February, we'll start that. But I'm not giving it up, my friend. It's great for my business, and it's a great way to manage costs too.
Oh, yeah. And you are building your own tribe, aren't you?
Yes. We have a Facebook group, which everyone's invited to. I'll put it in the notes with you, Thriving Women in Business.
Do you think
that's been really great?
Do you think you can repeat that? It just broke up a little bit.
Yes. My Facebook group is called Thriving Women in Business Group. And we're on Facebook. We've got 4,200 ladies in that group. Wow. And that's one of the things we do. And Susan, if we could just hang out here, I really believe that everyone wants to look at building community with their business, because part of the value, the massive value I bring my clients is not just, hey, my expertise, although I do have a lifetime supply, but it's also the ongoing support, the ongoing guidance, the resources, the opportunities, the encouragement that they get from each other by being a part of a community. And I do want to say that cultivating community is great for your clients. It's also great for you because they will not leave. They will keep coming back because of all the value they've gotten, which includes the community.
That's a really, really good point. Is there any reason why you don't work with men?
There's lots of reasons, yes.
Maybe I should have worded that incorrectly.
You're gonna make me talk about that on recording, my friend? I'll do it if you make me. I'll do it.
No, you can be diplomatic. Listeners, I apologize if that came out in a very rude way or incorrect way. I love men. Do not. It's just an observation.
I love men too.
Yeah, we all.
I love men. I'm looking for a good man. And the thing is that I find for community building, women love the all women community. They love being, because, and you know this from the studies, women don't, and it's not just girls. It's not just girls in high school. It's women too. They don't talk up as much when there's men in the room. They don't, they're not as comfortable. I actually had a sexual harassment situation between my client and another man who was in our community when I did serve men. So that's not okay with me. If my ladies are not feeling safe, then forget it. And there's more reasons, Susan, but we'll leave it there. And I will say that and everybody has to do what works for them.
Yes.
For me, it was the best decision I ever made for my business. And also, I'm born on International Women's Day. I worked on the ERA countdown campaign many, many years ago. I feel that is my reason for being on the planet, or the reason I give my life. And so that's my mission. And I'm honored to have it and very happy that I do. And there's enough business coaches for guys. So I'm going to serve ladies.
You're absolutely right. And listeners, if you are a chap, please remember that all of these wonderful tips that Caterina is sharing are applicable.
Absolutely. And I will say, if I can say a little bit more, one of the things that I talk about with my ladies is amplifying your heart skills in your business, because as women, when we came to the workplace, we watched and saw how were the men doing it, and then we did it like them. And part of it was based on the military model. And for women, I want us to know that it's okay to bring your whole heart to your business. And for men too, is the point I wanted to make. For men also, bring your whole heart, your kindness, your compassion, being a good listener, encouragement. These are all heart skills that really make your clients feel more connected to you and feel seen. And that will absolutely have them want to be even more served by you.
That's beautiful. Really, really beautiful.
Thank you.
Now, but whenever I have a guest on, I always ask them 3 top tips that they can share with the audience. So,
well, the first, I don't know how much time I have. I'll go as fast as I can. Okay, here's the first one. Whenever you're doing public speaking, and guess what? All speaking is public speaking.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Because even when we're talking to ourselves, we're listening. When we're having a conversation via Zoom, on the phone, it's all public speaking. Wear your cape. Cape, like your invisible superhero cape. CAPE stands for certainty, authenticity, positivity, and enthusiasm.
Oh, I love that.
Certainty is the knowledge that you have massive value to bring. Of course, be yourself. Nobody wants to talk to anybody depressed, so be positive. And enthusiasm is the little extra energy you give a conversation. Wear your cape. That's the first super tip. The second one is expect success. If you feel that you can serve someone, you keep reaching out to them because the fortune is in the follow-up. So expect that just because they're not responding today doesn't mean they're not going to respond next week, or just because they didn't respond last time. Expect success, and if you want to serve, keep following up. And the third one I'll say is be willing to be uncomfortable. That if you're not, my friend, might as well go get a job, because entrepreneurship is not for sissies. It is for people that are brave and they are willing to be uncomfortable. But the beautiful thing about that is the more uncomfortable we are, the more things become easy for us.
Yeah.
And the more that becomes rinse and repeat, because we were willing to be uncomfortable way back when.
You're absolutely right. Do you look back on times when you thought, oh, there's no way I could do this? Like my podcast 6 years ago.
Yes.
And yet now that is part of my entrepreneurial world.
And you do it so well. That's the other thing, Susan, is the more we do it, the better we get. Yeah. Then we start to get good. Then we start to get really good. Then we're moving towards mastery. And mastery is when you're experiencing ease, you're having more fun. It takes less energy and less resources. And you're having mastery now because you've been doing it for so long. And we all have to be knowing that the mastery does not come right away. It comes later, after many hours in.
Absolutely. Now, before we go, how can people get in contact with you, either to get your books, to go on one of your live 1 hour sessions, or to actually work with you?
Yes, well, I will say that my website is CaterinaRando.com, CaterinaRando.com, CaterinaRando.com. And you can click on the events tab. We always have a 1 hour thing coming up. We always have a 3 hour thing coming up. We have we have a virtual summit twice a year. Wow. And everyone is welcome. I would love to have them. I love having people from all over. And also there, you can send me a note if you like, or I love Facebook. You can send me a direct message on Facebook and I will personally respond. And please join my group, Thriving Women in Business Group, and check out our podcast, which is Expand Your Fempire with Caterina Rando.
Brilliant. Oh, I will write all of those down and they will be in the notes for this podcast.
Yay.
Have you got anything else that you want to share with us, Caterina?
Yeah, Susan, you are so fun. This has been so great to be with you. And what I would say is that successful people make decisions quickly. And rather than listening to this and saying, okay, that's a good idea and maybe I'll try that, get started. All you need is a date, a price, free is fine, and a topic. You don't need to figure anything else out. You could do it with one eye closed and one hand tied behind your back, because you know your thing. Don't get ready to begin to think about getting going. Start right away, because mastery is further away if you wait.
Absolutely right. And it is further away if you're procrastinating.
Yes.
And we know plenty of those people.
Absolutely.
So before we go, I would like to thank you so much for your input. It has been an absolutely fascinating podcast, and you have so generously given so many tips, and not exclusively for female entrepreneurs, for male entrepreneurs as well. So
yes,
listeners, make sure you check out Caterina, because I believe she's got a lot to offer. So thank you so much, Caterina.
Thank you, Susan. It's my honor and my privilege.
Oh, mine too. So thank you very much, everybody. And remember that you can download all of the podcasts. Remember to like it. Remember to subscribe, because we can really get things going. So until next time, this is Susan from Superstar Communicator. You have been listening to the Superstar Communicator podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and review the podcast on iTunes and on apps. Please contact us if you want to discuss any topic, could suggest a topic for us to include, or a guest who could come onto the podcast. Go to superstarcommunicator.com.